What's up, cool kids? FD White. So tomorrow is a pretty big day. We do have the FOMC meeting at 2 p.m. Well, the decision starts at 2 p.m. and then the actual Fed press conference starts at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 83K, around 83K. We had a nice little drawdown to about 81.5, I think, give or take. We'll look at the chart in a second, but all eyes will be on the Federal Reserve and the forward guidance at the press conference. I think they're also going to release the dot plot, and the dot plot is just where they think interest rates are going to go, how many interest rates they think are going to be cut this year. Prices or markets are pricing in, I think, 3 rate cuts this year. So anything below that is probably going to be a little bit bearish for markets. As markets, we want rate cuts. We want rate cuts. And I was talking to Piper. Shout out to Army Piper, Piper Academy. We were talking a little bit earlier on the phone, and we were saying, like, with inflation still not coming down, with inflation still not really tamed, if they start lowering interest rates too early, inflation is just going to ramp up. Everybody's going to just start paying higher prices than they are now. So it's a weird situation that the Federal Reserve is in. I'm glad I don't have to do it, but it seems like they are looking from a rear view mirror. They always say, or Jerome Powell always say, he has the tools if the markets or if the economy starts to roll over tremendously to, inflate or pump the markets up, juice the markets up, juice the economy up, sort of like they did in 2020. But when it comes to the other end, the other side of the spectrum, it's a little bit harder to navigate in order to bring these interest rates down. You don't want to do it too early. You don't want to do it too late. Sort of like walking a tightrope, what they're doing right now. So like I said, tomorrow is going to be key, is going to be big for the markets, for the whole economy, to be completely honest with you. Let's look at the charts though. So right now, we do have Bitcoin sitting at 82,945, so about 93K. We came out of this symmetrical triangle. I'm on the hourly time frame. We fell out of this symmetrical triangle, perfect retest here, and then we came down, held this area as support, as resistance. This previous resistance turned into support here. Now we held it again as resistance, but we seem to break back above it. So if we can just hold this 82K area, this yellow bar 82K area here, I think possibly we'll get something going on tomorrow where we either get back into this symmetrical triangle or we reject. Here, let's actually draw it out for you. So we can either possibly do something like this overnight, going into the Asia session, possibly pop back up before the FOMC, and then we'll see how we react at this trend line here. Because we could just pull this out, make this a little bit longer. This here, we don't even really need this right now because that's pretty much null and void. So we'll be seeing how it interacts with this trend line, or with this upward sloping trend line here. What we want to do is we want to we want to flip this back into support. That's what we want to do. And this is just the quick generic technical analysis, because right now fundamentals are really moving the market. So we want to see something like that. We don't want to see us coming down, get rejected from here, and then potentially going back down here. So that's what we'll be looking at for Bitcoin. And then once we have, let's actually go over to the Fed Watch tool. So it's 100% priced in, or 100% projected that the Federal Reserve will not cut interest rates. So that is what everybody is thinking. The CME Fed Watch tool is pricing in 0 rate cuts tomorrow, with 100% certainty of it staying still at 425 to 450. That's the current target rate right now. So we will be looking at that within the next few months. And this is what I was talking about, the dot plot. What is the Fed dot plot and why it's important? So it's basically a graph that reveals where Fed insiders think interest rates are headed. So like I said, the whole market, everything that we're looking at in the markets right now is pretty much geared towards interest rates, recession fears, and tariffs. Those are the 3 things that are really moving the markets, or really pulling the markets down. Uncertainty. We don't know if we're going to go into a recession. We don't know how these tariffs are going to play out, if they're even going to stand up. We do have April 2nd. Trump was talking about these tariffs will take effect, or the next stage of these tariffs will take effect April 2nd. So we have to watch out for that. And then we have, like I said, we have the interest rates, where tomorrow we'll see if they are going to price in the 3, or if they're going to say they're projecting 3 rate cuts. Anything other than 3, I think the market sells off. If they say 2, if they say 1, then I think the market will sell off. But I know he's going to come up and he's going to talk about they're going to have to be data dependent and things like that. But putting these tariffs into the mix now and not knowing with Trump and his administration, I don't even think they have a short-term goal, so to say. I think they have more of a long-term vision, more of a long-term goal. Short-term, I think they don't care about the pain. They don't care about the uncertainty. The markets can go down. I don't think they really care. I think they have a more long-term play at hand. And with that being said, we have to kind of focus or shift, unless you're just trading, unless you're just scalping, we have to kind of shift our level or shift our head to a more longer term time frame or a longer term mindset. Because if you just come with the ebbs and flows of the day to day, you're going to drive yourself insane, because I've been there. So right now what I'm doing, I'm still trading, of course. We do still have the Telegram. Make sure you guys go over in the Telegram. We are growing. We got about 33 subs over there in the Cool Kids Alpha group. So make sure you come on over to the Cool Kids Alpha group in the Telegram. Link will be in the pinned comments below. And we're just going to continue to work. We're going to continue to make sure we are in tune to what's going on, in tune to the market. And I hope you guys are ready for tomorrow. I don't know if I want to trade the news. I do have my 100K account challenge. Make sure you go and watch this video here, talking about how I was sitting on my hands yesterday. Today, I missed the trade. I was doing something because I didn't set any levels. I wanted to just be on the charts, making these moves, making these plays, just at the charts. I didn't want to set limit orders. I didn't want to set buy orders or things like that. I want to be at the charts to trade this 100K level, because it's very serious for me. It's very serious. It could be life changing if I could do this. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to monitor the situation. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to trade the news. We'll see what happens. Usually the first move is the wrong move. So if we get a pump, it's probably going to dump. If we get a dump, it's probably going to pump. So make sure you don't get washed out, faked out with this whipsaw action that's possibly coming in tomorrow, probably starting around early afternoon, going into the press conference, going into the interest rate decision. So 2 p.m., Jerome Powell will speak, or the Federal Reserve will come out and give their, if they're going to raise, if they're going to not raise. They're not going to raise. And then 2:30 is when the press conference will happen. And this is when we're going to be locked in and in tune to what's going on, what's happening. And we'll have a little bit more short to mid-term path as to which way these markets want to go. So this is FD White. Make sure you guys go down and like, subscribe. I appreciate you all. We got a lot of alpha coming. Just trying to be helpful, just trying to navigate through this uncertainty. And, hopefully you guys can ride along with me. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.